Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be teaching you about intensive and extensive properties. These are key concepts in chemistry that often confuse students, but by the end of this video, you'll have a crystal clear understanding of what they are and how to tell them apart. Let's get started. So, first we have to ask the question, what are properties? What are properties? Well, a property is a characteristic used to describe matter. Characteristic used to describe matter. So, for example, you might talk about the mass, density, boiling point, or even the energy of a substance. These properties can be divided into two categories: intensive or extensive. So, let's get started with intensive properties. So, what is an intensive property? Intensive. These are properties that do not depend on the amount of substance you have. The amount of substance. So what does this mean? In other words, no matter if you have a tiny sample or a massive one, if you have a drop or a swimming pool, these properties remain constant in that substance. So let's get some examples. We have density, which will always stay the same, no matter how much you have. We have boiling point. Doesn't matter if you have a liter of water or 10 gallons of water. Water's boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius, and that remains constant. Boiling point. We have color. Color will always stay the same. And we have temperature. These are all intensive properties because they completely disregard the amount of substance that you have. They're all independent. So here's a quick way to remember it. To remember this, think of the word intensive, meaning independent. Independent. So the property doesn't care how much material you're dealing with. It always stays the same. So that's a quick overview of intensive. Let's move on to extensive. So what are extensive properties? Extensive properties are properties that do depend on the amount of substance. The amount of substance. So, what does this mean? It's the complete opposite of an intensive property. It matters if you have a swimming pool amount of that substance or a drop. If you have 10 gallons or a liter. All of that matters. So, what are some examples? Mass. The mass will obviously increase the more of the substance you have, right? Volume. You have more volume, the more substance you have. And less volume, the less substance you have. And we have total energy. Total energy. So, here's a quick trick. Think of the word extensive as expands. These properties grow or shrink depending on the size of the sample. So it expands the more of the sample that you have. So, now you might be asking, why do these properties matter? So, why do they matter? Why do they matter? Well, this matters because in chemistry, Intensive properties are often used to identify the substance. Intensive is used to identify the substance. Like when determining a material's boiling point or density. An extensive property, on the other hand, extensive properties are used in calculations, like when measuring the total energy or mass of a reaction. So, to sum it all up, intensive properties are independent of the amount of material. They disregard the amount of material. But extensive properties depend on how much material is present. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.